Good morning and welcome to another voice release session. I am Jan Jorgensen at soundandlighthealingarts.com. We have some beautiful beings present here. However, this will be made available to others in the future. And the frequencies and releases and the energetic flows that we work with will be just as powerful for each person's energy field for when they are ready to access it. So, we're going to come present in the circle. So everyone, at this moment, go ahead and mute yourself. And let's begin by taking a deep breath through the nose and out through the mouth. And begin to settle into this sacred space without thoughts, without any attachment to outcomes for our processes and time together. And remembering the joy and the celebratory feeling that we have, that we are showing up, that merely by staying in these beautiful, beautiful center of the kaleidoscope, doing these processes, that we're able to open and access and expand into more interdimensional experiences, to learn and see our own next best step, and to add the leavening to be the yeast for the collective that is now dissolving as it must and has been planned. So take a deep breath through your nose and out through your mouth with this feeling of celebration. Beautiful. So to come present in our circle, I'm going to ring this 3 times and simply say your name on the 3rd ring. Jan. So in the etheric, we have woven together now our presence and our container to do this sacred work together. So what is voice release? Let's go ahead and do. I have maybe 4 slides, which is hard for me because I just love voice release and talking about it so much. But these will help put into your perceptions of what we are doing. In the right, in the middle, you see a painting. We have the power to reorient other people's thoughts, minds, and as we increase and go up the field of frequencies, our voices can morph physical reality. This is all within our skill sets at this point. My focus in working with these energetic forms is, actually I have this as a moving animated as well, but the divine feminine, that's the red template on the bottom. And in the animation, it moves up and it becomes the resounding radio frequency field of truth and a new, healthy, balanced dominance of the female qualities that have been missing in our social structure. This is a voice print. This is my voice print through somatics, and this will help us as we focus that our voice has a formative effect, an action, and an actual movement and visual aspect in the world through this technology. When you speak, you displace moisture the air. And this patterning bathes other people with not just your words, but your intention behind the words. Love, control, manipulate. Your sadness is present. Everything about you is set in motion and you are transparent. Sound itself has movement, and we'll play just a moment of this so you can see electromagnetic technology showing the colors, the frequencies. After a simple meditation, the pure golden notes out of my voice represent the state of my auric field. The rainbows are the color that the lyre is emitting. Now watch the gongs. This is light language. The gongs. So that is auric imaging, and it's again to help you understand that our voices are very important. Our voices tell our story to others. On the left, this is an interactive biofeedback program, and it's called the Portico. And on the right, it shows, you can see a little kitty cat being in here. Actually, the etheric archetype images are present in our voice and going out, which has a crown on, going out to the world. When we look at the images, we can tell the relationship to ourselves, our intimate circle, and to the outer world. All of these parameters are available to be visualized and understood, as well as a percentage mapping of our own sense of our physical, mental, and emotional alignment with the words that we're saying. So you're either aligned or you're out of aligned. To be leaders, people need to trust that we're speaking the truth. And as I said before, they feel everything about you through your voice. So voice release will help you remove the old fears, resistances, and defenses to speaking your truth. The next system, and as a nurse, this was very powerful for me to understand that through the frequencies in our voice, we can look at our health systems. 26 decomposition states that will end up in disease happen energetically first in the body before they become physical. And we can look at so many parameters of your health and emotions through your voice. So voice release over a 10-year period was developed as a scientific spiritual process. Today, we will go to the heart of the first wounding that is held in your body, in your somatic. We will release the balled up old patterns by phase shifting sound. And this is the part of intuition and spiritual guidance. I learned this while working at the hospice bedside, how frequencies, and when I myself would let go and listen for the tone, the volume, the depth of the tone, and where to place it in my body and the hospice client's body, I watched that this activity could release the fear of dying. So I put everything on hold in my life and began to study how frequencies can shift the fear of living. Conscious, intentional frequency. It's like setting your compass so that we can be authentic, our authentic selves, and speak our truth. So, how will we proceed today? We will go into a slight trance, which is very simple. We set a sacred space, we take deep breaths, we call in your divine spirit guides. So, for right now, begin to think of the things that have balled you up. Make them present within your energy field. We will be doing rounds on different situations that will touch upon your past or present. We'll use vowel sounds and we'll tone a bit on each different situation. We will make an intention each time because honestly, any activity without an intention isn't going to meet the mark. It's just uh, vacillating energy. So we're going to open up our heart to release these old frequency patterns, and we will be helping each other through entrainment. And as I said, if anyone has something that they've held for a while, say anger at a controlling mother or angst over betrayal of a partner, all of these things begin to be broadcast in your historical um, voice patterns as well as your expectations for the future. And you will continue to bring in other people who will replay the initial distortion. So we are free. When we are free, we will be bringing this freedom through our voices, which is a heavenly thing. To be free, to be whole, to be resounding, the Creator's vibrational field of divinity. So let's begin. I'll do my best to watch over in the chat, and if anyone has anything that they'd like to ask or add, let me go ahead and turn that on. And there will be times when I ask you, perhaps you have your own intention or something important comes up that you'd like me to address or share. Okay? So again, the reason we are doing this is the more of us that are free, it frees up more people. And I offer them to the SOAR community, which is now 515 women, to take hold of their own core divine frequency field and to be the change agents that we know we are. And sometimes the only thing that's standing in between us standing on a platform and speaking our truth to the whole world, even with a microphone, to the whole world, to Congress, is that feeling of, who am I to speak up? Or your father chastised you to say something smarter than him. So I want you to start bringing up all those little blockages and dams, a shaming partner, a mean older sister. I hope that you're bringing some of these things up to the party, to our party, our celebration release party today. So some of these areas to release, shame, got a good one there. Think about talking to your partner, any partner over the years, because if you had an issue, it's in your energetic field. Talking to your family, your mother, your father, are not talking, being told to zip it, being told little girls are to be seen and not heard. Talking to an authority figure, anxiety patterns. It's okay to admit to yourself, yes, I have had anxiety around that. Well, think of the opposite. think we thought all those years it was normal, but now at a certain age and looking around, you say, I have been doing things a little different, a little more limited, and I'm ready to change. How are you with talking with deceased relatives? It's completely within our realm. We simply go to the 0 point and call in their consciousness. Does that freak you out? That's fear. That's fear. Anything and everything is within our ability to sit at our control panel and to use our consciousness to access, speak with. And there's communication channels out there. And we can't wait for invitations. It's not like the priest at your church or the minister or something who's so confused about basics is going to say, hey, Mary, I know you know the truth. Come up here and take over for me today. No, the authorities have it all labeled, credentials, everything. And so we must listen from a higher order and credential ourselves and say, I know this, and I can't worry or reference what I imagine people will think and do if I say the truth. It's none of my business how they receive the message that God gave me to say. And that's why we're clearing the fear, because God's message will be distorted. It's like you're wearing your little girl glasses all the time. Am I safe? For these people, we have to come out of our small pool to truly be the global leaders that we are. If you're listening to this, get over it. You're a global leader. It's okay. I see you laughing up there. Yeah, I see your little pictures up there. I'm following you. Okay, talking so let's see. Anything else that we would like to cover? Because I'm taking notes here. Once we drop into our little trance, I might not have such a bright memory because I'm working with higher. So I'm going to be sure and talk with shame. Talk about the vibration of shame. Okay. All right. So we are good to go. Okay. And yes, you can do direct messaging or you can do group messaging. So I'm going to put that off to the side and begin. I have the super sound system today. And go ahead and unmute yourselves with this number of people. I think that the sound field might have a little bit of drag, but I think we're going to be able to flow our voices in just fine. 2 microphone system releases the Zoom cutting out of frequencies. We're using the Be the Light meditation drop-in now. We ask and intend to set a sacred space. We place a beautiful geometric structure around our own energy field. We have been pinpricking some of the memories of the times when we have set ourselves on our ear when we have to speak our truth. College paper, reading in front of the group in first grade. It is unique for each of us. So we will address these different scenarios one by one, and we will tone them out intentionally out of our body. Using our creative imagination, which is our steering wheel for these inner processes, let's go back to a time when you initially felt unsafe to respond. This can be with a specific individual. It can be in school, asking to say, where did your lunch go? Or perhaps you peed your pants, whatever. You couldn't speak. Zero in on some decisions that your heart set up for your operational system at that time. And now, as a loving, compassionate adult, ask yourself and this little person, was this a normal, natural thing to do to protect yourself from an unsafe world, being born into such confusion, having been delivered from a divine heavenly state? Of course, it was the thing that was right at the moment. But perhaps it grew. Perhaps it grew into shame. Let your heart in this moment be colored and feel and sense how your whole world went into that color, into that feeling. And now feel where in your body that landed. Maybe right below your heart, saying, never speak your heart's truth. This isn't safe. Look at these people ignoring, marginalizing, laughing, making fun of me. It's happened to everyone. Feel into those feelings. We call in the divine beings, the light beings, to assist and support us through this process, to hold us at that tender space of contraction. Take a deep breath through your nose and out through your mouth. And we are also going to be vulnerable and open our crown chakra to the Creator's focus, watching over us and assisting and supporting us with healing frequencies and modalities as we go through this process to release. It's like a super, if everything is being held together by those old little wooden clothespins, as if you have a magic wand to begin to simply unhook them. That is the magical essence of Source. Simply because you have asked with intention to be released from these pinchy, old, contracting feelings. So let's begin to tone them out with our voice. Find that place in your body that is the focal point. It's like a little frequency field, a beeping that sends out little rings. And let's begin with the sound of O, and stay on the note and the airflow with me while we tone together on the O. Let it rest, for we are indeed emptying out our own historical story and ancestral, your ancestry lineage of shame, embarrassment. Perhaps before you even had words, your pre-verbal stage, you felt no one wants to hear me. Let's continue on the O sound, just emptying it out through a big core, through the central part of your body. And let it rest. The actual movement happens after the sound. Picture it now. Volumes of undulating old, they're toxic because they don't really match who you are. Those clothespins that held you all pinned together. Take a nice deep breath through your nose, and on this one, completely empty that experience out of your body. Deep breath. Oh. And let it rest. Now, in your mind, repeat after me. Sometimes people say it out loud. Don't worry. I ask and intend to deeply release this frequency pattern that no longer matches who I truly am. I remove this energy from my cellular and intracellular matrix across all time zones. I am releasing it now. Let's hear the awe of the open sound of that area where that used to be, completely free now. Excellent. We just emptied the vase of flowers that were old and, maybe 20, 30, 50 years old with that green slime around it. We just cleaned it all out, right? So now in the garden of your life, you can put in new flowers and form new, bright experiences, fresher, brighter, new flowers. So let's let that rest. Okay. Now let's take our focus to our throat. I often have said we have like a metal manhole cover here, okay, that we are afraid to speak our truth, even sometimes when we feel we have to. It's life or death. But just that something comes up, and I call that the manhole cover, because you are afraid to express this truth to mankind, to someone that you've given some authority or importance to. So this is going to be flipping it off for all situations, not just specific. So we are going to use, I want to make sure I can get pretty loud, and I don't really have an engineer here. I'm going to move this away a little bit because we're going to use the sound A, and that, just like they use ultrasounds to break up kidney stones, we're going to go in there and we're going to jackhammer. And boom, we're all going to feel when it actually breaks. We really are. Okay. Take a deep breath. We're going to do the intention first. I am now choosing. You can repeat after me. I am now choosing.
I am now choosing
to obliterate any remaining manhole cover.
Any remaining manhole cover
Out of my throat.
Out of my throat.
My mind.
My mind.
And my heart.
And my heart.
Because they're part of the infinity symbol. When you speak, right? Oh, you don't have to repeat that part. You're great. You're great students. But right here in your larynx, think about it, infinity symbol. And this is actually the painting person that I was brought today, that when we speak our truth, and imagine a big, she has an infinity here to be present, but imagine a big infinity symbol going down into the heart and coming up. And of course, this is the phi ratio, which is the natural movement of everything, like the right tuning, the tuning fork of divine, righteous, geometric spacing. And we're walking around with our energetic, geometric, electromagnetic fields with contractions. And then we speak and other people can say, she expects men are going to betray her. Then here comes, I can show you scientifically that if you have men betray me, you're going to attract men who betray until you make an opening in that geometric field. So we're like Dorothy. We're going, this is a yellow brick road that will take us home into the divine, natural, relevant relationship of everything, the grid of everything. This is the 0 point, our power point as women stepping out as leaders. So we're ready to release it. And we're going to do an A, and we're going to do an A until every little piece is broken off. We'll also use an imagery on this one that the angelic beings, if this, just imagine that it's metal. We need little stories to help us move energy. And imagine that they have big magnets here, and they're helping pull this magnetic energy out as we use the A to break it up. Okay? Sometimes people need to stand up for this because you're ready. You're done with having that manhole cover there. It is so yesterday. It's not who you are, and it is stopping and blocking you. On the count of 3, let's begin the A. And don't be afraid to sound it out really, really. How about this? As big as your manhole cover is, that's how big your sound needs to be. How solid it is, how dense, and how tired of it you are. That's how big your sound's going to be. So if you need to go in the corner of the bedroom because you're afraid you'll overpower the Zoom, then do that. We're going to do A for a little bit on 3. Just keep going till you're done. And if you need to raise it up a little bit, the tone to pop it off, do it. Stay with your A and just lift it and pop it off. Pop that off. Open your mouth. After it pops off, let it out. Let those boogers out. All parts of that. Stick out your tongue. Open up the muscles in a way that you never have. Move your neck. Relax. Let it be naturally connected, organically, synchronistically flowing, new energy. No more stuck energy. Open. Imagine that beautiful phi ratio shell is beginning to articulate and move within your larynx without that crushing manhole cover on top. Open. Imagine the Mother Mary color of turquoise blue saturating all the tissues of your throat. Know that the gateway to speaking from your heart, the gateway that just kept you speaking from your mind, the gateway is open one way now. Before it was open to speaking from the logical man-made reality, and you swung it open and you're only speaking from your heart. And after those messages come through, then your mind gets to make the prioritization to-do list. But your heart speaks through you. Feel that connection and feel into the near future now. You are standing to speak at an event or to a partner, a sister, a daughter. And imagine the old feeling, the twinges of, am I safe? Feel this new vibration drenching that old feeling before it even catches on or begins. It no longer has a place, a home, a Velcro sticking point within your energetic field. Of course, you let the truth lovingly, compassionately, gently flow through your voice, informed by your heart. There is no other reality. So, just to be sure that we have touched upon all of the old stuck points, let's put your entire family in front of you throughout your timeline. Your parents as a child, your brothers and sisters, before and now. And let's go ahead and use our new heart centered speaking to neutralize the field towards unconditional love. Take a deep breath through your nose and out through your mouth. So there they are. Put them in chairs, and you're in a chair. You are calm, and you are imagining that you have something to say. First, we will forgive them for their trespasses in blocking and behaving in ways that contracted us. So, we ask and intend to release each family member from the role that they played in becoming who we truly are. We thank them. We acknowledge the pain that they went through as part of this process. But we are done with that dance, and we are now choosing to sit in our sovereign field of absolute divine mastery with heart-centered communication. So imagine that you are speaking to someone in your family. Choose the hothead, choose the problem. Easy. Choose the problem. And we're going to tone, and this time we're not releasing, we're allowing through our crown chakra, now that we have released the manhole cover and the little clothespins, we are going to send a flow of calming, neutralizing love towards that person, which then will spill out on the entire family. Change one person, change everybody. We're going to choose awe because it is inclusive. It is Aphrodite. It is a beautiful, beautiful, open, warm, green sound. So let's begin toning, imagining that we are sounding from our heart this time through an open voice towards our family, and this person is the top of the V. And let's begin. Ah, ah, ah. Now, love is the dominant frequency. Love is the only door open. I am feeling the untangling within my stomach, my body, where I held stress before. I'm feeling the sense of new possibilities because I will sound love. So anchor in this experience of how different it feels to be open and sounding love. This is the undefended state that is prevalent and the only state for the fifth dimension. We need enough humans holding the undefended giving state to create the circles that will form the new reality. So feel how safe it feels. Nothing can hurt you. How they react to what you say is frankly none of your business. It might be fear. It might be, oh, she's better than me. Who cares? That's based on their old story. Your voice, imbued with this unconditional love, is the answer in every moment. And sometimes we know through discernment, through connection with spirit, it's not necessary to say anything, but simply feeling and allowing the flow from our heart, unfettered by fear, is enough to calm the waters. Then there's no escalation. So let's talk to, got a note here. Okay. So some of us might think that there's something about us. Maybe you've been in a minority that has been marginalized, the color of your skin, the size of your body. You're not traditionally archetypal pretty, so who would want you at that table? Let's get rid of that. We need leaders who represent everybody and everything because they're not attached to those labels and they just are connected into love. That's the fifth dimension. But you're correct, in the third dimension, there's still a lot of power with caste system. Okay. We ask and intend to release the feeling that there is something about us that others will not invite us, that we are not the inner circle, that we are not the popular chosen archetype. We release the sadness from our heart and our lungs that we have carried this story for so long. We are now choosing to release this old pair of glasses and lens that we have had about our shape, size, or color, and our worthiness and our value. We are now ready to release that old story from every cell in our body. And we are going to do that by, it's how we see things, through our eyes. We are going to tone E. Let me move this here because that's a strident sound. On the count of 3, we will release all of that. E. 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 If you cough, that's releasing energy. Imagine that it is all dissipating and leaving and releasing. Just let it flow out. Excellent. Okay? Now, we replace those old feelings and thoughts with a new vibration of self acceptance. That this package, this gift from God, this miraculous body in this form, was the best teacher for what we came here to learn. We now replace the old vibrations with the sense of, I'm okay. I'm actually more than okay. I'm pretty cute. I'm interesting. I am smart. I know how to do things. I'm invitable. I make things better. I enjoy being invited, and I am invited. And so it is. Take a nice deep breath and let that new vibrational field settle into your body. Going to pick out something from the chat. Okay. When we bring new ideas or behave according to those ideas, it makes us a little bit outside the tribal system. It makes people be annoyed, scared mainly. It's all of these things are fear-based. I've had this for many years since I stopped trying to be the perfect dental wife, which I wasn't that great at. And think about it. Any change agent is ahead. And people feel jealous, angry, all the scared things. So we can't monitor or modulate what we have to say based on their reaction. Where would Jesus, what would he have done? He would have stayed in his hut, tent. Any leader takes what we call risks. I'm watching a show called Messiah now, and he's so different. They put him in jail because he just stood there and spoke the truth, and everybody else caused all this drama. They put handcuffs on him. Part of you knew that you came here to be a bit of a heretic. Not necessarily a martyr, but some of us signed up to be martyrs too. Go ahead, I'm going to say the truth, kill me. But what if you didn't say the truth? You wouldn't be filling your contract. When you came here, a lot of this is, of course, Caroline Corey. She's my best teacher. I just love everything she said. And I was helped to figure out there are 3,300 people that won't get where they need to go unless they hear Jan Jorgensen's voice in the full resonance of her divinity. I'm in service. I'm doing it for them. This is not a popularity contest. And I've learned it's none of my business what people think about what I say. And when I first started this work, I went to see this guy, Peter. I was a dental wife, a mother, and he looked at me and laughed and said, "You have no idea who you are or what you came here for." I said, "Well, yeah, that's why I came to you." And he said, "You are going to stand on a stage and be talking about running energy." I said, "What do you mean? I have no idea." Plugging in a toaster is kind of what I thought, or showing how electricity worked. He said, "And you're going to do it. And there's going to be a handful of people in that audience. You're going to feel it. They think you're nuts." People have told me, they've come to me and said, "I thought you were nuts until I had the experience." Okay? But Peter said, you need to say what Spirit tells you to say, all full bore. And because when I'm teaching, it's not Jan choosing. I've learned to open the aperture and to let it out so that the right information falls in the right ears with those with ears to hear and eyes to see. All this was prophesized. So if I don't speak for those 2/3 in the audience with ears to hear, they're not going to get it. I can't worry about the third. Again, they're in their own myriad combination of stuckness. And who am I to tell them that my truth is their truth? Let them have their truth. So I hold an energetic field the best I can, that what I say won't freak people out, and then it won't. If I hold that fear, do you see? I'm broadcasting it. I know you think I'm crazy, and they're going to go, yeah, she's crazy, and man, we are going to let her know it. We're going to shun her. She's not going to be invited. My next door neighbor one time said, well, I don't want to talk about that woo-woo stuff. Well, she was good. She told me. She told me right out. She's really great. Okay. We talk about different things. It's not where she wants to go. I respected that. So let's remove that fear. Take a deep breath through your nose. We're just about at the hour. We're just about done. Take a nice deep breath and go into your core. And remember, you're a messenger here. You're not to have everybody like you or believe you. They're all at different levels. So let's remove that fear. And I think it actually goes all the way down to our toes to the top of our head of, oh my God, who am I to be this divine being? And remember, I said they're not going to invite you to say the truth. You must say the truth. So if you're wondering who's going to let you say the truth or invite you, we got to let go of that. Take a deep breath and let every cell in your body hum with your mission as a messenger. So you're so busy doing all of that. Guess what? Higher vibrations calm fear. So hold that, and we don't even have to release anything, future or back. We are already there. We are holding. Love and fear cannot exist fully at once. If you're on your spiritual path, if you have a thought of love, it fills everything. It's so big. You're a brighter light bulb. Your one thought ignites 1,000 widgets of light greater than a person who is not awakening. And your fear does the same thing. If fear comes in and it's almost consuming. So, as my friend Deanna and I said, we're getting to the stage we can't afford a negative thought. It is a fear to imagine that other people will shun or move or judge us if we speak truth. We're working from a different playbook. We are simply sounding unconditional love through our heart, and we are kind of helped choose the words. We're not perfect. That's our job. We're ministers. We're showing up at our kitchen table as ministers now. And we're not trying to fix anybody or to make them. We're just creating a sacred space wherever we go. We're not lecturing. We're just being in resounding unconditional love without the old stories. And that's what this voice release was about. No one else controls us. We are completely in charge. We are holding the steering wheel. We are resounding love. We have our boat ship shape. And others can get their boat ship shape or not. They can keep sinking and drowning and asking for rescuing. I mean, everybody has their timing and their path. So I hope that that helped and answered that aspect. Okay. All right. So we are going to finish up with a little integration here. You're very welcome. Take a nice deep breath through the nose and out through the mouth. And feel how much room is in your stomach. And I'll also say that I've had 3 recent dreams now related to churches that have turned upside down my thinking of my right to be a spiritual person outside of a wall and churches and titles and invitation introduction as here she's going to say something spiritual. Forget it. Every moment is church. Every moment you are exuding and speaking and flowing the new divine reality where there's no church or authority needed. We are in a continuous flow of spiritual bliss. So just take a deep breath about that. Yeah, that will trigger other people. Take a nice deep breath and just feel the imminent, wonderful potential and unfolding. And we're not better than anybody else. We just chose this role. We just chose this role. And we're not quiet. We open our mouth. Doesn't have to be loud. It can be very soft. But it's just truth. Take a deep breath through your nose. We will just put on a little bit of music of how we began. Let's pull in our energy field. Put a beautiful golden resilient egg around your energy field to kind of hold this beautiful space in. We bring this to a close. One more add-on, that as we are flowing this and communing with Source in this new way of being, it is very easy to converse, receive information with those that are not in physical bodies. And they've been here because we called them in. So acknowledge they're present in their faces. Might be deceased relatives, loved ones. Might be the beautiful spiritual masters. So many of them, the archangels, the masters, the Christ, the Buddhas. And know that they are on this telephone line, this grid that you can access in 0 point simply by asking to speak. You can receive beautiful information, support, and inspiration when you need it. And then resound that energy out into the earth plane. It's teamwork. It's beautiful, beautiful teamwork. So we are taking these steps together and getting stronger and more confident and more joyful for good outcomes for the divine plan through us. And this is a wrap up for today's voice release. I so appreciate you joining me today. Again, I'm Jan Jorgensen at soundandlighthealingarts.com, and I do work with groups. If you have a group, and I love to do individual sessions over Zoom, it's what I'm bringing. And of course, what's the point of me walking around with a gift if someone doesn't open it and enjoy it? So I'm going to turn off the recording, and if you want to stick around and say hi, I'm here for that as well. Okay.